Hello and thanks for joining us. This is the Signature TV News Update. I am Ifunanya Ilodianya. And the headlines: Nigerian Army undergoing a trying period, says Chief of Army Staff. Revolution now, protesters demand justice for Omoyele Sowore after he was attacked by a police officer. Businesses shut, streets deserted. In Southeast, as tension rises over IPOB's sit-at-home order. And now the details. The new Army Chief of Staff, Major General Farouk Yahaya, has held an inaugural meeting with principal staff officers, frontline commanders, and corps commanders at the Army headquarters in Abuja. The inaugural meeting, which was held on Monday, was the first Chief of Staff meeting after taking over from the former Chief of Staff, General Atairu, who died alongside some senior officers and soldiers in an air crash. Major General Farouk lamented that the nation and the army is undergoing a trying period, especially the ugly circumstance that led to his appointment, assuring that the army will stand with families of those that lost their lives in the unfortunate incidents. Marvelous Obomanu brings us the reports.
The newly appointed Chief of Army Staff also shared his command's philosophy, which he said is anchored on professionalism, readiness, administration, and cooperation.
My vision, which is a professional Nigerian army ready to accomplish assigned missions within a joint environment in defense of Nigeria. To achieve this goal, my command philosophy will rest on 4 pillars, namely professionalism, readiness, administration, and cooperation.
He promised to provide exemplary leadership and raise a dependable fighting force needed to tackle Nigeria's security challenges.
I hereby pledge to provide exemplary and professional leadership for the Nigerian Army. I will ensure on your behalf that the Nigerian Army stands solidly behind the families of our departed personnel.
Major General Yahaya also said his administration will focus more on beefing up the morale of troops and also cater for the families of fallen heroes.
The Nigerian Army of the present must, by necessity of the changing nature of the battle space, sit up and develop novel processes, strategy and tactics to overwhelm the enemy in kinetic and non-kinetic battles. Win hearts and minds and safeguard our nation's prestige, honor, and territorial integrity. This requires deliberate investment in leadership capacity, in equipment, in infrastructure, human capacity, personnel welfare, battle resilience, and combat efficiency. Our roadmap to readiness will entail improved training, optimal resourcing, innovation, firm leadership, and proactiveness. In all of this, sound administration of our troops is essential to operational effectiveness and higher morale. Consequently, we will prioritize welfare of personnel, we will promote merit, we will celebrate gallantry, we will honor our heroes and support our families.
There is a lot of optimism in Major General Yaya's speech, giving a worried citizenry hope that the Nigerian army is poised to make Nigerians sleep with their 2 eyes closed sooner than later. Marvelous Obomanu, Signature TV News.
Omoyele Sowore, the convener of Revolution Now and former presidential aspirant, has been shot by a female police officer at the Unity Fountain, Abuja. Sowore was shot as police blocked protesters who were protesting insecurity and bad governance from entering the Unity Fountain. According to the protesters, Sowore was shot on his leg by a female police officer, CSP Altin Daniel. The protesters who persisted while demanding for justice for Sowore, asked that the arrest and prosecution of the police officer who shot him. SignatureTV correspondent Chibweze Obi now reports.
The Revolution Now National Day of Action coordinator Jaye Gaskia during the protest said in addition to their demand for justice for victims of insecurity in Nigeria and bad governance, they were also demanding for the arrest and prosecution of the police officer who shot Sowore and other police officers who dispersed and distorted their peaceful protest. He threatened that the Nigerian government would face the consequence of the attack on Sowore as the group was preparing to kick off the second phase of NSAS national protest.
An end to insecurity, that you must protect Nigerian citizens, that you must make way to reduce poverty and eradicate poverty in our country, that you must create employment for our young persons, that you must make this country livable for Nigerians. That was the demand of our protest. But now, because they also violently dispersed us, because they shot at us, because without provocation, they shot at us and they hit one of us and injured one of us. Because of that, we have added to our demands. And the new demands, in addition to the ones that we had before, is very simple. We demand justice. Yes, we demand justice. Yes, we demand that all the officers who came to disperse us, we demand that all of them should be identified, yes, that they should be prosecuted, yes, and that they should be sacked, and they should actually be jailed. We were lying down, we were sleeping. You have woken us up. You will face the consequences of waking us up. Exactly. We promise you that.
Exactly. According to Gaskia, Monday's protest took place in 12 states in the country, which include Lagos, Edo, Osun, Ekiti, Kaduna, Niger, Kano, and 5 other states. He maintained that the group will extend the protest to more states of the country in the next phase of the protest, adding that they will not give up in their campaign against the failure of the government to protect its citizens and their welfare, which are fundamental human rights of Nigerians as stated in the Constitution.
We are preparing the ground for NSAS Phase 2. We demand justice. Now. Justice for all of us, justice for all Nigerians that have been killed from insecurity. We said that it is the responsibility of the state to protect its citizens. This protest today, May 31, which is the National Day of Action that we have declared, is to launch that campaign against insecurity. So we refuse to give up our rights. Yes. We refuse to give up our right to protest. And that they will see more of this, yes, not just in Abuja, but across the country.
Barrister Issa, the national coordinator of Nigerian Youth Choice, stated that the protest was not against the government, rather it was targeted to fight for the welfare of the Nigerians at large, adding that they would not fold their arms, watch the country going the wrong way. He called on the Nigerian youth to wake up and join the protest against bad governance.
So we want all the youth in Nigeria to take note that this is a prima facie evidence that we have to wake up on our slumber. I am telling this government that we are not against you, but we are after the goodness of the citizen. Do what is good, yes, and make the country safe for their citizens. Yes.
Sowore is said to be receiving treatment at an undisclosed hospital in Abuja. In Abuja, Chibweze Obi for SignatureTV.
Economic and commercial activities came to a standstill on Monday in the southeast region of the country. This is in compliance with the sit-at-home order issued by the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. IPOB, through its spokesperson, Ima Powerful, said that human vehicular movements will be restricted across the southeast on Monday to mark the 54th anniversary of Biafra. In compliance with this order, streets in Enugu, Owerri, Aba, Umuahia, Oka, Onitsha, and Nnewi were emptied. Businesses and schools and other major economic activities were shut. The vehicular movement was also grounded. However, there is a heavy presence of security operatives in strategic places in the cities to forestall any breakdown of law and order. Also in Ebonyi State, few vehicles were seen on the roads The inner streets were deserted with security men positioned at different locations. The state governor David Umahi had earlier instructed that no resident would be penalized if he or she chose to stay at home. Many businesses in Delta State capital Asaba were also shut down as residents complied with the sit-at-home order. Banks and major shopping malls were closed. At the popular wood markets along the Aba-Onitsha Expressway, most shops were closed, with a few traders hanging around the expressway. The expressway leading to the head bridge was completely deserted, while businesses along the expressway were also shut. It could not be ascertained whether the towns were deserted for fear of security operatives who have been arresting able-bodied young men or in compliance with the IPOB order. The police in Enugu have launched efforts to arrest the killers of a retired judge of Enugu State, Justice Stanley Nnaji. Nnaji was killed by unidentified gunmen in Enugu on Sunday evening while driving in a black Mercedes-Benz SUV. His killing was captured on camera and the video posted on Twitter by an eyewitness. The deceased, who hails from Umbu in the Suzo local government area of the state, was shot severally beside the Enugu Diagnostic Center by Ebana Tunnel after he was double-crossed and dragged out of his car. On the foreign scene, China on Monday relaxed its two-child policy to allow couples to have 3 children, a shift aimed at tackling an aging society in 1979. China imposed a policy forcing couples to have only 1 baby, introduced by top leader Deng Xiaoping to curb population growth and boost economic development. The population stood at 969 million that year, a sharp increase from around 540 million in 1949. The decades under this family planning moved to the underreporting of female birth, as well as the high rate of abortion of female fetuses, skewing the sex ratio. But the results were dramatic, and with fertility rates falling from 5.9 births per woman in 1970 to about 1.6 in the late 1990s. The government said the policy prevented about 400 million births. Despite concerns about the demographic imbalance, Chinese leaders hesitated to simply abolish the one-child policy. Instead, since 2013, they loosened the single-child rule and allowed couples where one was an only child to have a second offspring. In sports, Argentina hosting of the Copa America football tournament has been suspended as the country endures a record of coronavirus surge. CONMEBOL, the South Africa American football body, which last week stripped Colombia of co-hosting duties over deadly unrest, said it was considering other offers to hold the tournament. The Copa America was originally due to take place last year, but was postponed for 12 months because of the coronavirus pandemic. Officials are expected to meet on Monday to decide the next move for hosting the tournament. An Argentine poll published on Friday found that most respondents were against hosting the tournament, as the country experiences its worst phase of the pandemic so far. Before we end the news, a recap of our major stories. The Chief of Army Staff says the Nigerian Army is undergoing a trying period. Revolution Now protesters demand justice for Omoyele Sowore, the convener of Revolution Now, after he was shot by a female police officer at the Unity Fountain in Abuja. Businesses shut, streets deserted in the southeast as tension rises over IPOB sit-at-home order. Safety and security begins with you. Be patriotic. Report any suspicious activities to law enforcement agencies. Please stay safe. That's the Signature TV News Updates. On behalf of my producer, Damilola Abudu, I am Ifunanya Ilodianya. Thanks for watching.